Well, hey everybody, as you can see, Uncle Guy got a new catapult, the 2014 Yamaha FZ-09. I bought it on the 3rd of March, and I've got about 500 miles on it now, and I wanted to just give you a few of my initial impressions of owning this bike. First, let me thank Flux, F-L-U-X-X 43, who did some really great reviews on YouTube. I recommend anybody thinking about this bike goes and takes a look at those reviews. They're fantastic, a lot of good information, and I really agree with a lot of his takes on it. Initially, I was a little afraid of this motorcycle, about buying it, because in the reviews I hear a lot of things about the throttle being really snatchy, the suspension being garbage, brakes, that type of thing. I gotta tell you folks, nothing could be farther from the truth. This thing is a honey. Motor for days, it's super comfortable. I did have the suspension dialed in by John at Superbike Suspension Tuning. He came to me in Carlsbad from Chula Vista and dialed the suspension in for me for less than $50. Money well spent. Actually, this one was set up pretty good for me from Yamaha, from the dealer, but he did make it the front to back balance a lot better. I don't want to go into a lot of the tech bits and stuff right now. There's plenty of reviews doing that. I want to just kind of give you my initial impressions. The throttle thing I really thought was going to be an issue, and in A mode and standard mode, it's a little abrupt off idle, and there's just a little bit of driveline lash. If you're a novice, or you're not a real smooth rider, or you've been used to relying on traction control, that kind of thing, this may take a little getting used to. In B mode, it's totally fine, and once you get past the on-off idle, a little bit of abruptness, it fuels perfectly and it's very smooth. So there's absolutely no complaints there. Again, the suspension I think is great. I'm 180 pounds, and sort of a 10/10, on the track, but for street riding, I think it's fantastic. The one complaint I had, there's no helmet hooks on this bike. So that was the first thing I did, as I went and I bought a helmet holder, and the only place it fit was right there on the handlebar, but it works fantastic. I can hook my helmet on it, and it sits right up here, and then if Linda comes with me, I got a cable that hooks her helmet, and it just sits right there. So that made things a little bit nicer, not having to carry your helmet in anywhere you go. Like I said, I've got about 500 miles on it. About 100 of that is with my wife Linda on the back. The seat, as you can see, is really flat, and she's got no complaints. She thinks it's really comfortable. And again, I do too. I really like the riding position. Very flickable, very nimble bike. Really nothing to complain about there. A couple things that I've got coming for the bike. Yamaha makes a fly screen that goes right here, and I think it just dresses the bike off a little bit nicer. That's on order. It should be here Monday. And then I've got a tidy tail, like a fender eliminator kit, coming in from Jester's Trick Bits in England, and I'm pretty excited about that. The other thing I want to say about this bike, and I guess a little about me before I just start rambling here, I'm 51 years old. I've been riding for over 40 years. I've owned about 100 motorcycles. So I've had everything from dirt bikes to Harleys to race bikes to street bikes, and this is definitely one of my top 5 favorite bikes that I've ever owned. Fun factor's a 10. But the one last thing I want to leave you with, Yamaha did a great job on this thing on the gearing. It's the first motorcycle in probably the last 10, besides the Harleys, that the first thing I didn't change was drop the gearing, drop the countershaft gearing 1 tooth and go up 2 in the back. This thing is spot on for the street. It's amazing. First gear in B mode, you're going to get a power wheelie out of it. In standard, you're going to get one on first and second gear, and on A, dial it up, and third gear, she's coming up. You get on the on-ramp in A mode. If you roll onto it in second gear, grab third, and turn it to the stop, you will be going 100 miles an hour by the time you hit the freeway, and the front end's not going to be on the ground. Great power, super fun bike. If you're even thinking about this one, I recommend it highly. Everyone that I've talked to that's ridden it, that's ridden this thing, says it's one of the most fun motorcycles they've ever had, and I couldn't agree more. I got a new helmet cam So hopefully we'll get some ride reviews for you guys soon. Other than that, thanks for listening, and love the bike.